妙見山への参拝者の輸送を目的として、お過ごしください。Thank you very much for waiting. Thank you also for using our Ryokan no Mori cable car today. We first started operating the Ryokan no Mori cable car in 1925 to transport visitors to Mount Ryokan in Osaka. During the war, we were forced to suspend operation and our iron materials were collected by the government. It has been back in regular service since 1960. This cable car connects Kurokawa Station at the base to Sanjo Station, situated 460 meters above sea level. The stations are 666 meters apart, with a vertical of 223 meters and a maximum grade of 23 degrees. While
ご存知の方はコメント欄にどうぞ。